Welcome all to the Cricket Happening Show with your host Ram. And on this Cricket Happening Show, while I am giving you this cricket show, there is one match which is going on, which is in the second one-day international between New Zealand and England. And New Zealand are really galloping right now. They are doing what England did it to them in the first one-day international. New Zealand were the ones who won the toss, and they are racing along at a clip of almost 6.90 as the score right now stands at 198 for 2. Williamson is not out on 76 of 67 deliveries with 10 fours and 1 6, and Ross Taylor is on 25 of 29 balls with 2 fours. The partnership is already worth 53 runs, and I think New Zealand on this pitch at the Oval, which is also tailor-made for batting, they are doing a wonderful job. Before that, we saw some Brendan McCullum heroics coming in when he thrashed 39 of 22 balls with 5 fours and 2 sixes, and in one particular over of Chris Jordan, he spanked Jordan for 2 sixes and 2 fours of consecutive deliveries. And Martin Guptill also contributed 50 of 54 balls with 6 fours and 1 6. And I will keep you updated with this update. New Zealand winning the toss and electing to bat here at the Kennington Oval in London. New Zealand are placed very well right now. As I said, they are doing what England did in the first one-day international. Are we going to see a score of 400 today? It all depends. They still have some good batting still to come in the form of Elliott, Santner, Ronchi, and so, but probably a bit of wishful thinking, I would say, but one has to wait and watch. So New Zealand, as I'm talking, has just reached the 200 mark here. They've just reached the 200 mark in the 29th over. Well, I'll come back to that as and when anything becomes available, but right now I'm going to take you back to that match yesterday. So we are looking at two matches today. One is the first day's play, where West Indies started off in great fashion, especially the man who did the damage was Jerome Taylor, who picked up 2 wickets. Not only did he pick up both the openers' wickets, but he did something which has been extremely rare. I mean, if you look at it, Australia definitely recovered through a 9th Test century from Stephen Smith, who was still there unconquered on 135 with 16 fours and 2 sixes. But the feature was Jerome Taylor's bowling. I mean, if you look at the stump score of Australia on day 1 of this Test match, they finished off very well after struggling against Jerome Taylor. They finished at 258 for 4 at close of play. It was a bit of a surprise that West Indies did not claim the new ball. So definitely they have a chomp at the red cherry when they hurl it on the second day, where the dew factor will also come into the picture, and it would be very interesting to see Jerome Taylor's bowling. And the reason that I'm talking about Jerome Taylor is Jerome Taylor bowled a dream spell. In fact, if you look at his bowling figures, one probably feels whether this was a one-day international match. 15 overs, 8 maidens, 18 runs, and he picked up 3 wickets. I mean, and a Test match on a score of Australia's 258 for 4, if Jerome Taylor can bowl in such a fashion, I think that's truly an awesome feat for him. And he bowled 5 overs without conceding a run. So he bowled 5 overs which were consecutive maidens, and I mean, this is something one can only think of in a limited overs international, where you can bowl 15 overs, 8 maidens, 18 runs and 3 wickets. For me, the feature of the day was Jerome Taylor's bowling from the West Indies. Well, he was swinging the ball at some good pace. He was swerving the ball away from the batsman. He was getting in those booming in-swingers into the Australian batsmen who were, and in fact, he troubled every batsman at the crease. It was very difficult to get away Jerome Taylor. He bowled I would say he bowled absolute pearls at the Australian batsman, and well, he finished with figures of 15 overs, 8 maidens, 18 runs and 3 wickets. I mean, on a test match, if you could see a bowling analysis like this, one could probably feel he's a spinner, but no. This was the pace bowler, Jerome Taylor of the West Indies. As I said, he was the one who took the cake, and he, for me, was the feature of the day as far as the day one was concerned. Even though Stephen Smith really staged a great recovery for Australia by getting on to his 5th century in 6 test matches and also his 9th test century overall, I would still say I would doff my hat to Jerome Taylor to bowling in such an exceptional manner. What a tremendous bowling spell from Jerome Taylor to really keep things tight as far as the Australian batsmen were concerned. Well, I'll be talking about that, and also finally the rain stopped here on day 3, and well, this match definitely looks to be heading for a draw. For India, well, they finished off on a good score at tea time. The rain once again fell on the 3rd day, and the play had to be called off, and India were 462 for 6. Dhawan went on to make 173. Murli Vijay went on to his century, 150, and Ajinkya Rahane sacrificed his wicket because India were on the quest of quick runs to make the match interesting, but Ajinkya Rahane succumbed for 98. But a very, very sweet knock from Ajinkya Rahane of 98, 14 boundaries. I'll be talking about that. So match definitely heading towards a draw. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to in the meanwhile, while I am actually talking to you about those matches, in between I will also have a peep in at the Kennington Oval in London in the second one day international between New Zealand and England, where New Zealand currently, as I'm talking to you, the 30th over has just ended and the score reads 209 for 2. I'll be coming back to that. I will be trying to give you some updates as and when any wicket goes, or probably any boundary or a 6 is hit. So first, let's get on to this particular match between Australia and the West Indies. Now, Jerome Taylor, the only person that I could talk about is Jerome Taylor. What a spell! I mean, in test matches, one rarely sees such a spell being bowled. Jerome Taylor was absolutely, such an amazing bowling spell from Jerome Taylor. I can't stop talking about it, because in test matches you can't expect a bowling of the way Jerome Taylor bowled. It was something which was out of the ordinary. So first, let us talk about this match. As I said, it was yesterday I had left you with saying that Jerome Taylor gave them the breakthrough by dismissing both the openers. First, David Warner with a ball which actually reared upon him, and then a booming in-swinger to trap Sean Marsh LBW for 11. And after that, it followed. I mean, that was the spell where Jerome Taylor bowled 5 consecutive overs, which were maidens. After that, it was a recovery done by the captain Michael Clarke and Stephen Smith, as both first started settling down, and once they did that, they had the spinners to bowl, and as we know that Stephen Smith and Michael Clarke are the best batsmen of spin as far as Australia are concerned, and we saw the twinkling feet movement as they not only came and drove the spinners Veersamy, Permaul and the other bowlers for 4s, but Veersamy Permaul was also tonked for 6s by both Stephen Smith and Michael Clarke when they used their feet beautifully to deposit them into the stands. And well, the partnership has slowly from 16 for 2. There was a very good recovery which was staged, and the score went on to 134, which was basically, if you see, it's 118 runs added between Stephen Smith and Michael Clarke, and the score stood at 134. And finally, Michael Clarke, after playing a very good innings of 47, and he also Michael Clarke also hit Kemar Roche straight down the ground for a 6, which was wonderful to see. And Michael Clarke was finally out when Jason Holder broke the partnership. by getting him caught by Dinesh Ramadhan behind the wickets for 47 with 4 fours and 2 sixes. The score was 134 for 3 at that stage as Adam Vogt, the hero of the first test, entered the scene. Well, today he once again showed a lot of application and dedication along with Stephen Smith. And Stephen Smith, well, it always has been a treat to watch Stephen Smith bat, and that's what precisely one was seeing as Stephen Smith played some beautiful strokes. In fact, he was really playing very well. One saw some very good strokes coming from the bat of Stephen Smith. Stephen Smith, as I said, he went on to his 9th Test century overall and his 5 centuries. In fact, this was his 5th century in 6 Tests. And finally, this partnership also did a good job. It actually took the score on to 210. So it was an 80 runs partnership with Stephen Smith, playing some very good strokes. As you know, as I said, always has been a treat to watch Stephen Smith when he plays the strokes. It's done with some sweet timing, good reflexes, and it's always has been like Smith is a very busy batsman, and that's what he possesses. But he also showed a lot of application and dedication while doing that, and the score reached 210. Adam Vogt was finally out when he was caught by Ramadhan with bowling. Jerome Taylor once again coming back into his spell, and as I said, not a single Australian batsman could really fathom what Jerome Taylor was bowling, and Jerome Taylor was simply going from strength to strength. And finally, when stumps were drawn for the day, Stephen Smith was undefeated on 135. Shane Watson was not out on 20 with 3 fours, and Australia at stumps finishing on a respectable 258 for 4. As far as the bowling went, Jerome Taylor, the man of whom one has to talk about, 15 overs, 8 maidens, 18 runs and 3 wickets. Tremendous bowling spell from Jerome Taylor. Kemar Roche looking a bit rusty, 15 overs, 2 maidens, none for 65, taking the place of Shannon Gabriel. And they definitely missed the services of Devendra Bishwa, the run-arm leg spinner. Jason Holder, 16 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 47, bowled decently, I thought. Veerswamy Perumal got a bit of a tap there, 24 overs, 7 maidens, 84 runs, so no wicket. Brathwaite, 19 overs, 2 maidens, none for 39, and Jermaine Blackwood, 1 over, which was a maiden. And that is as far as so. But one thing that I would talk about this Australia versus West Indies match is that it was a bit of a surprise that Dinesh Ramadhan, the West Indian captain, did not claim the new ball as it was due. But it would be interesting to see this first session in the morning today on the second day, where Jerome Taylor, if you could actually recreate the same magic that he did yesterday, that would be wonderful to see, because the ball would be absolutely new. There'll be a due factor because of the morning start, and if Jerome Taylor can bowl with the same pace and with the same verve and accuracy, and if he can really do that, I think I wouldn't be surprised if the Australians would be restricted to a low score. But wishes are wishes. One only hopes that Jerome Taylor finally creates another magic today on the second day as what he created on the first day. So that is, and so probably Dinesh Ramadhan was probably prompted to think that Jerome Taylor has been bowling magnificently, and why not have a dual factor in his favor of the due factor and also his tremendous bowling. Well, one only hopes that Jerome Taylor really bowls well today. Well, so from here let's get on to the other match between India and Bangladesh, as it was the third day. As I said, on the second day's play was washed out. Third day was definitely they had a start, and this partnership between Murli Vijay and Shikhar Dhawan yielded 283 runs for the first wicket, and finally after Shikhar Dhawan was the first to go, but not before contributing a very handsome 173 runs with 23 boundaries embedded into it. And Murli Vijay, he went on to make 150 with 12 fours and 1 6. After that, because of the urgency of runs, as I said, this was the third day, and India had to score quick if at all. They had to really, because otherwise the match is definitely heading towards a tame draw. So India had to adopt an aggressive approach, and that saw the wickets falling. In fact, Rohit Sharma could contribute only 6 runs with 1 boundary, when Shakib Al Hasan, who was bowling superbly yesterday, was the chief wicket taker. In fact, he clean bowled Rohit Sharma for 6. And then Virat Kohli, that was a beautiful delivery from Jubair Hussain, the right arm leggy, and what he did is he actually got a ball which snaked through the defenses of Virat Kohli and hit the stumps. So Virat Kohli was gone for 14 with 2 boundaries. Ajinkya Rahane played a majestic innings of 98, I would say, with 14 boundaries, and he was the one, he was involved in a very, very good partnership with Murli Vijay at the other end. In 22 overs, Murli Vijay and Rahane put up almost, I would say, 114 runs, which was pretty good going, and Ajinkya Rahane was really, really pinching the boundary boards time and again. And then Shakib Al Hasan had been hit for 2 boundaries by Ajinkya Rahane, and Ajinkya Rahane finally succumbed to Shakib Al Hasan as Shakib Al Hasan got the better of Ajinkya Rahane, and Ajinkya Rahane, one really felt sorry for him as Ajinkya Rahane went after the bowling as it demanded. As I said, India had to score quickly because there were only 2 more days left in this game, and finally Rahane sacrificed his wicket by trying to hit Shakib Al Hasan, even though he was batting on 98, and it was a bit of a sad to see Ajinkya Rahane not getting to his century. He was out for 98. Ridhiman Saha, what a delivery. In fact, Jubair Hussain today, the red-arm leg spinner, definitely we saw a lot of wrong ones coming in from Jubair Hussain, the red-arm leg spinner. He really had a lot of dip while he was bowling. Ridhiman Saha googly was bowled to him, and Ridhiman Saha actually trying to play at it, couldn't read it properly, and the ball went between the bat and pad gap and crashed into the stumps. What a classic delivery from the right arm leggy Jubair Hussain, who looked pretty impressive yesterday, bowling a lot of googlies and wrong ones. So Ridhiman Saha was gone for 6 with 1 boundary, and finally when stumps were drawn, in fact at tea time the rain started falling heavily, and it had to be an early closure on day 3 with Ravichandran Ashwin not out on 2, Harbhajan Singh not out on 7 with 1 boundary, and India closed the day 3 at 462 for 6. And I'm sure there should be a declaration coming in on the 4th day just to make the match interesting, because there are only 2 more days left, and India will probably try to see whether they can take advantage of the conditions, and there's definitely some turn in the pitch too, and India also has some pace bowlers. So I would probably tend to feel that India will be declaring the innings today. Virat Kohli will declare the innings in the morning on the 4th day, and he will have the Bangladeshis batting, probably trying to see whether they can pile on some pressure on the Bangladeshis and make this match a bit interesting. Now, as far as the bowling was concerned, Mohammad Shahid 22 overs 2 maidens none for 88, Soumya Sarkar 3 overs for 11, Shaukat Ahum 14 overs no maiden none for 52, but Shakib Al Hasan bowled superbly. In fact, he was the one who kept the batsman on a tight leash. 24.3 overs 1 maiden 105 runs, and as I said, he was the chief wicket taker with 4 wickets for 105 runs. Taijul Islam was wicketless for 20 overs with 85 runs to his name. Jubair Hussain, as I thought yesterday, compared to the previous day, today we definitely saw a very good bowling spell from Jubair Hussain. 19 overs 1 maiden 113 runs and 2 wickets, and Imrul Case bowled 1 over no maiden none for 3. Now, before I leave this cricket happening show now for this day, I'm going to take you down live to Kennington Oval and see what is happening over there. As I'm talking to you, drinks are on the field right now in the second one-day international between New Zealand and England at the Kennington Oval, and New Zealand currently are placed at 223 for 2. Their run rate has dropped a bit after last when I spoke to you. Williamson is looking good for a century now. He's not out on 91 of 82 deliveries, 12 fours and 1 6. Ross Taylor is 33 of 40 deliveries, 2 fours, and I think looking at it, I wouldn't be surprised if New Zealand could do the same what England did in the first one-day international of galloping to a total of 400 runs and pile on the pressure on the Englishmen so that they have their best chance to actually level the one-day series, in the sense at least they could actually gain some sweet revenge over England today. Well, dear fans and subscribers, I think that really puts a wrap on this Cricket Happening show for today, this on a Friday. Tomorrow, as you know, it's a Saturday. I'll be there with my late night cricket show as usual, which will dwell on the second day's play between Australia and West Indies, the fourth day's play between Bangladesh and India, and also I'll be covering the New Zealand versus England, the second one-day international, which is right now underway at the Kennington Oval in Kennington Oval there. So I'll be there with all these particular packages tomorrow, dear friends subscribers. Hope you all loved this Cricket Happening show, and as a promise, I will once again be back tomorrow. Until then, it's goodbye for the day. Thank you.